the mission in the hallway right next to Karen. She was about to slap him again just for kicks until she thought he might be into that kind of thing. RMC starts talking to himself while everyone is looking at him wondering as he lost his mind. He concluded it was better to give up with this mission since he hadn't had any chance to kiss Karen, but to his surprise the system indicates the failure of the mission, which is if you give up now the rewards you had received until this moment will be confiscated and the mission window won't appear anymore. He couldn't give up. He thought if he did he'd lose everything he had won until now and the mission window wouldn't appear again. He had no choice. He didn't know how the hell he was going to get to kiss the girl with more Instagram followers than the entire school. He wondered if he should force her or what other strategy he could use. Luckily, while he was thinking about that, we're introduced to his best friend Yakuza. We will just call him Cuz. Cuz looked like a criminal but who was sadly as our MC bullied every day.